right, here we go. Amicalola Falls, North Georgia. I believe they fall about 700 feet, maybe more. If you're going northbound on the Appalachian Trail, this is where you're going to start. And it is beautiful up here. And here we go with my thoughts on 5 years of overlanding, boondocking, and van dwelling. It's been fun. And here I am looking stoic out on the trail. Usually when I see signs like this, it kind of excites me because I know there won't be too many people around. And I just love being out in the woods, to be honest with you. So who am I? I'm Amish Jim, son of Appalachia, Pittsburgh born along the shores of the Allegheny River. I've been a nomad most of my life. Even from when I was a young kid, my family of sportsmen. My grandfather's Native American, and he loved being outside. We went camping every weekend around Pittsburgh. On my other side, the Schultzes, my grandparents, they have a cabin up on the river up at East Brady, PA, home of Jim Kelly, and that they built from scratch. They were on the other side of the river from East Brady, and my grandfather built that. It was the first cabin on the other side of the river. Now there's hundreds, So we'd go there every weekend. And my grandfather was he was retired most of my life, and like he would go up on Wednesday night and come home Monday night just to make sure that the house in Pittsburgh was okay. And my other grandfather, Byers, he he had a one of those campers on the top of his truck top camper, whatever it is, siren, I don't know. And we would go somewhere all the time, Pymatuming, Conneaut, Lake Erie. We would just travel all over the place. And throughout my life, I've been a camper like that. I've always had a camp set in my vehicle. Friday after work, bam, I'm out. I am on my way. So, who am I? That's who I am. I'm a filmmaker, maker, musician, all around goofball. You've probably seen a couple of movies I worked on. Here's a few. Plus, I worked on the Olympics. I've shot sports forever. Football, baseball, major league stuff, NFL. Even did wrestling. Had the script once. Had the script for wrestling once. Yep. But it's been fun. I love what I do. I love going to work every day. I'm based out of Atlanta, although I travel all the time. I've been van dwelling full time 5 of the last 6 years, and I do a movie and then I travel. When I run out of money, I come back to Atlanta. I do a movie, then I travel. I don't own property. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I've had a bunch of different vehicles, but really it started with this Jimmy. That's a S10 2001 Jimmy S10 Diamond Edition. Woo! And that thing was the nicest vehicle I ever had. Leather all throughout. Drove nice, and I just tore it up. I only made 1,500 of them. What I did to that thing was ridiculous. I went from that to a full-size Blazer, the 2005 Chevrolet Free Rubs Blazer. And that thing treated me well too. We went all over the country in that. And I ripped all the seats out, and that's what I've been doing with my vehicles. And I built this sleeping deck in the basement there. And one of my favorite parts of this build is on the left, that closet, as I would call it. You could slide a full-size plastic cater table in there. It was nice. It was a pretty good rig. We went all over the country in this Blazer. Here we are. This is Galveston, Texas, or right outside of it. Sunset Beach, actually, just to the west of it. You can buy a permit for $13 a year and camp on the beach for up to 2 weeks at a time. And that's what I did. It was great. Great little thing. You see all kinds of crazy cars driving out there. Big old Cadillacs and stuff. When I went to the Escape, I thought I'd get something smaller so it'd be cheaper for me and I could go more places. And here we are out in the desert in Nevada. And, I got my solar panel, got my little rig going there. And here's my little base station. I love that Jackery power supply. I use that every day. I feed it with the solar panel that you can see right there. And another similar sleeping thing in the back there of the Escape. Excuse me. And this was a good time too. This is in Nevada. Then we went from there to the Xterra. This was up in Waldorf, Maryland over last year. I did a salvage job up there with a buddy, and I just stayed on the property the whole time. Fat man in a little suit. Yeah, that's right, baby. So yeah, it was pretty fun. He lived in the trailer that was in the other shot there in the background. He had that all set up. He offered to let me stay in there, but I didn't want to smell him farting all night. So here's my the current back of the Xterra. Originally the rear deck went all the way across there, but you see I dropped it 3 inches. It was kind of like being in a submarine berth. I would imagine there was almost no space. I would get claustrophobic. I was having a hard time sleeping because I was so close to the ceiling. But it's amazing dropping that 3 inches, and it was like a whole nother world, you know. But this is my current rig. Here we are, what we got going on from the inside. Yeah, it's pretty cozy. That trifold mattress there, I've had about 3 years and I'm done with it. I just ordered a 8-inch foam mattress that I'm going to put in there and live life. And I'm going to live life. There we go. That's what I'm saying right there. That's the whole point of what I'm doing. I want to enjoy my life. I'm 50 now, 52 in a couple weeks, and I'm just going to live my life. You know, I see all these people dying in their 50s and they're healthy, you know, living good lives. And here I'm 6 foot, 300 pounds, fat, fluffy, you know. So I figure I'm probably on the heart attack list or whatever. So I'm just going to live life now. I am going to live life now. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do what I want to do, you know. And there's no reason not to. Here's some things that I truly love. What I love traveling around in North America. And like I said, I've traveled across Canada and in the winter, and which makes it a little more fun. I had an S10 ZR2 when I did that, 4-wheel drive, and it was small, and the heater had died, so I had bought a little portable heater that I had to run off an inverter all the time just to keep it warm in there. I've driven across, when I lived in Phoenix, after every movie I would travel down to Mexico, drive around. I'd go down to Sea Cortez. And one summer I went down there, and I was just going to buy a sailboat and live on the Sea Cortez for the summer, but I got robbed, so I ended up not doing that. But yeah, another thing, let's see. One of the things that I love, being solo. And I don't consider that being alone because I don't really feel lonely out here. I mean, I literally go weeks without talking to other people, you know, and it does not bother me one bit. You know, if I can get some reception on my phone so I can get some YouTube or Netflix or whatever, that's all I really need, you know. And the funny thing is, as I say, being solo, I did make a friend at a campsite. It was funny when I pulled up there. He had these, I could see these little paw prints, and I'm not sure how he did that. I can only imagine what was going on there. But he showed up that afternoon, and man, for the whole week, he was with me every day, and I wish I could have took that little guy. But there's just no room in my vehicle. It's too bad. You know, one of the things that I love is the randomness. You know, a lot of times how I decide where I'm going is I take my mountain bike, I put the tire sideways, and I spin it, and wherever the air nozzle's pointing, I just drive 3 or 4 hours. Unless I'm going cross country, and I drive till I want to sleep. You know, I'll truck through the whole time, sleeping at rest stops and you know, Loves, the Flying J, stuff like that. And a lot of people are like, "That's how you decide where you're going?" Yeah. Otherwise, I don't want to sit there and make a list. I just want to end up places I would never end up. You know, and it's like Part of that is so I can enjoy new environments. That's how I ended up going to the Upper Peninsula the first time. And, when I went up there, I was on Hog Island, and it it was a great little campsite by myself. I had went up the road to get gas, and a guy saw that I had out of state tags and asked me what I was up to, and me and him started talking. He said, "Hey, we got a private club over here." He goes, "You got to be a member to get in, but come on over and I'll sign you in." And so I went over, and every day I was there, I'd go over and they'd have a crock pot full of meatballs or pork barbecue or something. And I'd go in there and hang out with them. I'd become friends. Everybody knew my name. I knew their names. It was a lot of fun. I thoroughly love it. And that's just one example. Another time I went down to last year I wanted to go swimming. Where can I go swimming right now that the water is 70 degrees? Type it in. Oh, Gulf of Mexico. So I went down to Carabel, Florida, and it's a beautiful little town. Used to be a resort town, and prior to that, there was a military base there, and they trained for the invasion of Normandy there on the beaches there. So I thought that was pretty cool. I camped on the Yellow River, and one day I was sitting there on the Yellow River, and I was just chilling on the bank, and there comes out in front of my campsite. There's a log out there that had been sticking up. You could, when the tide would go up and down, you could see a log or not see it. And I saw a boat coming up, pulling a tube with a couple of kids on the back. And I hurried up and I jumped over and I pointed so the guy driving would know, there's a log there. There's a log there. And he saw it and he waved and everybody waved and I went around. And about 15 minutes, a old guy shows up in a Jeep. And he goes, "Hey, my son wanted to thank you for pointing that log out." He said he knew it was there, but I bet he forgot. And we both kind of laughed. He goes, "Hey, you mind if I use your grill? We're going to have a little cookout." And I said, "No, fire it up." So he gave them a call. They brought the boat back. And we had a cookout for 3 hours. I hung out with this family. Ends up the guy's grandfather, or that guy's father, the guy in the boat's grandfather, he was the only one in the county that had a license to collect alligators. And so if they had got a call for an alligator, they were going to come get me, and I was going to go get it with them and everything, but not while I was there. But, I mean, that's just an example of things that I get to experience. If I'm just sitting at home playing video games, drinking beer all day, I'm never going to do that stuff. So it's kind of why I'm glad I don't have a home. Let's see, things I hate. More showers. I definitely need more showers. When you're a big guy like me, I already have my own personal musk. 6 foot, 300 pounds. I want to take a shower every day just to feel comfortable. And at first I was just taking Navy showers, and they're okay. You can get pretty clean with a Navy shower. Just recently I bought an instant on hot water heater, and I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. It's great. It's a bit of a process because you have to have that heater. Then you have to have a supply of water. Then you have to have a water pump. Then you have to have a way to power that water pump. And the water, you got to have the water. And, you can blow through water pretty quick. I mean, I take a shower. I use about 3 gallons to 4 gallons of water. So how much water am I going to carry? You're not going to get a shower every day if you're using 3 or 4 gallons just for a shower, But that's one of the things I want to solve in my next build. One of the other things that I hate is the lack of feeling safe. I definitely had people come into my camp in the middle of the night. I've had animals go through my camp. Coyotes go through my camp one time. I had a hog go right by my camp one time. And when you're out in the woods like this, you just got to be prepared. I carry 2A items, if you know what I mean. And, which makes me feel better. Somebody was like, "All you need is some mace." I'm like, no. No. I'm going to stop somebody if they're coming from me. But yeah, you got to keep your head on swivel at all times. One of the other things that I hate is cooking in weather. Now I usually set my easy up like this and the table and everything. But if it's still raining and miserable, if it's the middle of winter, like the gig up where I was working in Waldorf and camped out for 2 months in the winter, I didn't feel like standing out there at my stove while it was 15 degrees. You know what I mean? So that was kind of a pain in the ass. And that will also travel down to overall or cooling food and ice. Excuse me. Ice is always a pain in the ass. Now I have a real nice. Well, I had my storage unit just got broken into, and I lost a bunch of stuff. So, but I had a nice Yeti cooler, and I would carry that in a smaller cooler to carry extra ice and stuff in. But water always got in the when the ice melted, water would always get in the Ziploc bags, no matter what. No matter what bags I bought, it's a pain in the ass. Getting ice, you got to get ice once a week. On my next build, I'll get one of those Dometic fridges that is propane and electric. And the other thing there, overall level of comfort. I'm living in an Xterra for the most part. I'm a big guy. When I got the Xterra, I really wanted to get a 4x4 van, but there was none of those in my price range. There were tens of, over $10,000, all the ones that I saw. And at the time, it was during the beginning of the pandemic. I was out of work and had some other things going on. And I was more in the thousands of dollars, so I got the Xterra for $5. And then, unfortunately, the motor went after a couple months. I spent another $5. Whereas if I would have found one van for $10, but anyway, que sera. Just you take the hits and move on with it. You know what I mean? So let's see here. I've been everywhere, man. That's right. Man, I just go. As I said, from the wilderness in upstate New York to the Keys in Florida, the Upper Peninsula to the Sonoran Desert, across Canada. Fuck yeah, I mentioned all that already. I don't let anything limit me where I go. I would like to start going international in a couple of years. I have some other plans coming up. I think next year I'm going to try to do the Great Loop, which is a circumnavigation of the east coast of America. Pretty much I'd like to start up in Pittsburgh and do a float down to New Orleans, and then you can take the intercoastal waterway over to Florida, swing up on the coast to Roanoke, and then you pop out along the ocean to the Hudson Bay, and then you go across the Erie Canal, and it spits you out back up in Lake Erie, across the Great Lakes, come down into Chicago, go down the Mississippi, back up the Ohio to Pittsburgh. Bam. You have circumnavigated the east coast of America. And I think that would be pretty awesome. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while, too. When I was a kid, we were at river camp, and one time coming down the river, there was a log raft, and had a couple of people on it, and they were pushing it down the pole. I got my grandfather, and we hopped out on our boat, and we went out there, and hey, what are you guys doing? We're floating to New Orleans. What? And they flew to New Orleans. I guess. I don't know how far they got. I just looked it up a month or two ago. I couldn't find anything about it on the internet. But this was in the 1975 or 1976 or something, and I was a wee lad. But I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to do it. Even if I don't do the whole circumnavigation, I at least like to float from Pittsburgh to New Orleans. I think that would be pretty awesome all in itself. But when we get to the other plannings, when I decide kind of what direction I'm going, I check freecampsites.net and look for free campsites. As it says, it's been pretty good to me, and I just started using iOverlander also. It was recommended to me, and with those, that's how I plan what I'm doing. And that's pretty much the only planning of what I'm doing. Some places I like, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, as I mentioned. I've been up there numerous times. Last year I was up there when the first snow fell, and I was parked right on Lake Superior. My tires were probably 5 foot from the lake, and it was just awesome, having the snow roll down. The beaches of Galveston, I like it down there. There's lots of beaches. There's some beaches in Louisiana you can camp on for free too. I'm going to check those out soon. And another place I like is Coconino National Forest. Pardon me. And that is right under the Grand Canyon, between the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff. And if you go there, check out the Route 66 Dog House. And if you like chili dogs, that's where you got to go. But yeah, that's just a short list of favorites. The future. let's see, the future will be something bigger. It's going to have an indoor kitchen and an easy shower that you just handle it, you know. On this gig that I just did, I was gifted this aluminum trailer, which I am going to rig out and polish up. Uh, but I didn't want a trailer for a long time because then you got to haul a trailer around. You got to be able to back up a trailer. I'm not real good at backing up trailers. Long trailers, like a tractor trailer, I can back up all day. But when it's a short trailer, yeah, forget about it. You know, um, that's what I'm going to do in the future. I just want to get something bigger so I can continue it. You know, so all in all, uh, man, I love this lifestyle. It has its ups and downs, but I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, I have friends offer me rooms and stuff at their houses all the time, but I know if I do that, I would just sit there and do nothing all day, you know, uh, and that's not what I want to do because I'm a lifelong video gamer. You know, I will sit there and play Rust or Tarkov or DayZ, you know, my favorite survival games. I would just put way too much time to them. So, all in all, I think this is a great lifestyle. It's not meant for everybody, but I'm going to continue doing it. Uh, Probably till I die. Anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, go ahead and give me a like. I think I might. People tell me all the time I got to make these videos because I'm doing this, and it actually took a lot of time. I started to make notes, and all of a sudden I'm making a PowerPoint, and it's like, God damn, 2 days. It gives me a lot of respect for YouTubers, you know. But I am going to do more. If you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. It's going to be varied, you know, what you might run into, but I think you might enjoy it. Anyway, thank you, and I hope you have a good day.